Kia ora, I'm Chelsea Daniels, and this is a special episode of The Front Page on location at New Zealand's first ever IKEA store. So we have been lucky enough to get exclusive access to IKEA before the doors open on December 4th. That's this Thursday. And we're here on a media day, so we get to look through the store and speak to some people involved. We'll be speaking to IKEA's Country Communications Manager for Australia and New Zealand about what we should expect after Thursday, what kind of products we'll be able to look at, and what IKEA is really about. And we're also talking to Quantum Jump CEO Ben Goodale about the marketing behind IKEA and what really makes it special. So Ben, we are lucky enough to be in IKEA the week that it opens. First off, I mean, can you believe this? Can you believe that this is your life right now? How excited are you?
I'm driving here this morning. I just felt this build up of like, oh my God, I'm going to IKEA, and it's a Monday morning and it opens on Thursday officially. And coming in, you were seeing there's motorway signs announcing that IKEA is opening on Thursday, to warning you about the traffic. And then around Sylvia Park, there's signs up saying IKEA this way, and you go, wow, but it's a real place.
It's like Christmas come early. Now, I should mention, actually, we've got Tom Raynell. Sorry, Tom, I did ask him
you're in between.
Pronunciation of that earlier, but I was fancying it up a bit. He's from Herald Business. Now, we came up with an idea in the office, a bit of a joke. Let's get Tom to construct a flat pack for us. He was bragging about how good he is at it, and we thought, why don't we get him in the background? Everyone was laughing. We actually asked IKEA to get us something for Tom to build, and they obliged. Tom, what have you got?
I have the shoe rack called Macpacker.
Macpacker shoe rack. And let's just put some money on it just first and foremost. How much do you want to bet? And when do you reckon, how long is it going to take you to do?
I'll put $50 down.
You're going to put $50 down? It was payday on Friday.
It was. Thank God for that. Otherwise, I would not be betting as much.
And how long do you reckon it's going to take?
I mean,
because you know nothing about this.
I know absolutely nothing about it. I have worked at a furniture store before, so I do have some experience building furniture. Maybe not this type of furniture. I'd say hopefully 10, 12 minutes.
10 to 12 minutes.
Give myself a wide band.
Well, Ben, do you want to count down so we can have our chat? You count down Tom, and we'll let him get underway.
Sure. Count from 5.
Oh,
go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go.
So, Ben, I saw a few marketing and ads on the way here as well, and I thought it was quite interesting, actually. I saw one from The Warehouse. Did you see that one? Welcoming IKEA.
It caught my eyes. I was turning a corner. It's hiring my IKEA or something like that. I didn't see the rest. The rest was too small to read. But I'm going, interesting, because I thought The Warehouse are advertising IKEA. That's quite bold. Arguably, it's a marketing no-no. But you know, hey.
I mean, I would have thought that as well, and that's what I really wanted to ask you also. It's like, even when other brands are getting, and I think I saw one from AA Insurance as well, saying we insure the XX drawers from IKEA or something. So how big is this IKEA opening for The Warehouse, arguably one of their competitors, to be welcoming them to the market?
Well, it's interesting because in a way, I guess they're trying to associate themselves with IKEA rather than pretending it's not happening, and almost get the noise around IKEA this week, next week is just going to be huge. The expectation, as we were talking about earlier, has been enormous getting towards opening date. So for them, I guess going, well, if you can't beat them, join them. And how do we come in and impose ourselves into the biggest marketing launch of the year?
I thought that was quite interesting. Do you think that because IKEA is such a huge store, it's about the size of 3 rugby fields, I'm told. And there are thousands upon thousands of products, 7,500 or something insane like that. Is there something that The Warehouse is going to have that IKEA doesn't?
Well, they have groceries.
Yeah, true. Toilet paper.
They have apparel, there's crossover, but they are very, very different stores. And The Warehouse can never be the Swedish juggernaut that IKEA is. But equally so, it probably only actually impacts about 15% of their ranging. So, different.
What do you make of the IKEA marketing and the kind of the hype that has been built? We last spoke in September, and since then it's just gotten more and more talked about. What do you think makes IKEA so special?
Well, I think one of the things is it's validation that New Zealand has finally arrived on the global map for IKEA, and it is a genuine global retail phenomenon. And I think what makes it special is that it's so successful, it's so iconic. People, I think we've talked about before, so many people have got IKEA products in their homes because they've brought back from overseas or they've shipped in some way. And it's like now it's actually here, and it is, I think because of that Scandic edge as well, it just has so much more credibility and magic about it.
Well, just because of the Swedish element, it just immediately seems cooler.
Yeah,
to me.
It does. The fields, you can see the mist, you can see the Viking longships coming through.
Yeah. In terms of, I guess, IKEA why do you think it's taken so long for us to get an IKEA store down here?
Well, partly you just said it. We're a long way from anywhere. I was actually looking up, and we're one of the smaller nations to have an IKEA, but there are tiny places like Iceland, Cyprus, Latvia, Estonia. They've all had IKEA before us. And so we are very much, I wouldn't say we're an afterthought, but it's taken a long time because I guess the cost for them, and you experience when we drove in this morning and you look around and you look at the, everything they've had to bring that all a long way to set up the system. And for possibly just one IKEA to serve all of New Zealand. So I think they probably waited until they felt they could do it well. And I mean, certainly they've been so smart, like with the whole way they've got their distribution plan. So you could be in Christchurch and you can order, it can be shipped. Because they never used to do that. Years ago, they didn't deliver. And so that's been an evolution of the IKEA offering.
Yeah, interesting. And I wonder as well whether there is a market for, some Toms out there now to be able to do your flat pack furniture and everything, because that's what they've got in other countries as well, eh?
Yeah, it is. And I think that there will be smart kids and Tom could build career, like great pocket money earners. Like I would imagine people can advertise their services, flat pack setup, and teenagers who want to make a few bucks. Be brilliant, great pocket money.
Yeah, I'd give a teenager probably $50 to build something for me. Tom, how are we going? We're about 4 minutes in.
Yeah, look at this. I mean, this is coming together pretty quickly.
Oh, it's pretty fancy.
I mean,
how fast are you guys? Are you still confident?
I'm still confident. I think, how are we doing for time?
We're just on 4 minutes.
I mean, we're a third of the way done, third way through the time. I think it's looking good.
Yeah, what do you reckon, Ben?
It's actually looking quite good.
Yeah,
it's doing
thank you.
I might have
I
to get Tom round for my IKEA bookshelf.
All you have to tell him is that it's going to be filmed and on camera, and it won't cost you anything. He'll come round and do it for free. So, in terms of, we've spoken about the warehouse. Do you reckon any other furniture stores are going to amp up their marketing now as well?
Well, I think if they're smart, they do, and they need to. And they're probably a bit like the warehouse. Do you lean in? Or do you lean back? And
it's the Kiwi way, I think, to be welcoming. Hey, that was quite clever about what I thought about that ad.
But what would be interesting? Yes, absolutely. But I think if you're, the ones who are going to be most impacted are the furniture retailers, and so for them, do they align themselves with, if you can't find it at IKEA, remember about us, find it here, or price pointing or whatever. So because these other places won't want everyone to forget about them because they're all racing to IKEA. And it's not to say, you might not find exactly what you want here, or you might find it in another store. So I guess if I was doing the marketing for a furniture retailer, I'd be going, how can I line up and be in that zone of consideration and not forgotten about?
And in terms of, I guess, do you reckon that there's any coincidence that IKEA is opening the week after the Black Friday sales, arguably the biggest sales event of the retail year?
I hadn't thought of that. I think probably for them, they've been on a race to open. and probably open this year so that they can get in before Christmas. I mean, it's going to be, how many people are going to be getting something from IKEA this Christmas?
Yeah, even if it's a peeler or something.
Yeah, just something from the marketplace here. So yeah, maybe get Black Friday out of the way, because it's going to be all that retail buzz we've just been living through, and then yeah, this is the new white space.
Yeah. What? So we've got IKEA now. What do you reckon's next? What other big brand overseas are we going to get? We spoke about Chemist Warehouse, obviously, is a massive Australian brand that's really taking a hold in our market now as well. And they've got that really big brand presence also. Hey, the colours and the slightly offensive to the eyes, all the marketing and the tickets and everything as well. What do you reckon's next?
Well, it's a good question, because what are we missing? I mean, in a way, IKEA and Costco felt like sort of last pieces of a major retailing jigsaw.
I'm smiling, Ben, because I can see someone behind you.
He's very proud of himself.
Have you done it?
I have indeed.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
7 minutes. You're puffing.
There's a lot of audience clapping behind me as well. You can't hear them on camera, but they're doing well.
That is phenomenal, Tom.
I mean, yeah, actually quite impressed with that. I'm happy with myself.
And let's have a look at the...
Yeah, let's have a look at the shoe rack.
It's a pretty fine looking shoe rack.
It is.
Is there anything left over? Have you missed any bolts?
There are 4 bolts, but they're actually to extend it if you want to. So you can take off the top layer and just by the rack itself, screw these on and lift it up and add more layers to it.
And does that actually say that in the instructions?
It does. I'm not making
have you made that up?
I can show you the page if you
don't
want.
have to show me. Oh, well done, Tom.
I'll expect that $50 back in the office.
I believe if you relook at the tape, I didn't actually agree to $50. You were going to agree. You were probably going to have to give me $50.
Viewers at home, you be the judge. Did she agree to that or not?
And we'll get Richard to go back and edit in the bit where I didn't agree.
I don't know if we need that.
Well done, Tom.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
What were we talking about? The next big brand.
Yeah, I don't.
What are we missing?
I think there are a lot of global fashion retailers that aren't here, more than the big box retailers. Because I mean, it's unlikely. We're not going to get a Walmart because we have the warehouse. There's always that thing about the government would love Aldi to come here, so we have another supermarket player.
I email the Aldi team at least once every quarter to ask them if they're going to come here, and every time they're like, no, there are no plans.
I mean, the reality is, from a supermarket point of view, it's so complex to set up in a new market, and much more complex than IKEA just with their shipping piece. So I think it's very unlikely we'd get an Aldi. Very unlikely we get another major supermarket retailer here. But fashion brands, yes, I think we talked before. I mean, I have personal favourites I love visiting when I'm overseas, like Desigual, which is Spanish, or Boggi, which is Italian. And
Adelaide got a Uniqlo.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of every time I go home for Christmas, that's a big part of that, going to Uniqlo. But yeah, there are definitely those places that you go. I remember actually before Adelaide, and this is when I was growing up, before we got a Krispy Kreme, we'd go to Melbourne and there'd be a Krispy Kreme in the airport. And so every flight from Melbourne to Adelaide, you'd go into the overheads and there would be boxes of 20 packs, 40 packs of Krispy Kremes. And that's the kind of, because we didn't have it.
Yes, that's right.
And everyone got Krispy Kremes whenever anybody came home from Melbourne or Sydney. So what is that? And I'm struggling to think, what is that thing that we don't have that we really want, like an IKEA? Like a Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, because recently, we got Sephora, which had taken a long time to come. I mean, Victoria's Secret is interesting. I think I read recently there is going to be one coming back to the airport, I think. But I don't know if they're going to open up in central Auckland, but they are.
Definitely an
but
airport
that is
well.
but that is a global phenomenon. So yeah, I think it is apparel, and. Are we missing any burger joints that we desperately need to have? Probably not. And maybe Uniqlo would be interesting.
Oh, thank you so much, Ben. And what are you most excited for today? Because we've just come in, we've sat down at our little desk here. Is there anything that you're specifically looking forward to seeing?
In the store?
Yes.
Or were you just hoping I'd mention the meatballs?
The meatballs is, a given.
Yeah.
But what's your favourite part about coming to an IKEA store?
There's two things. I think it is really cool to see the furnishings because they have that Scandinavian vibe, and so they're just the little touches which make them a little bit more interesting than what you might get down the road. But I think the area I always find fascinating is the marketplace, because it's like an Aladdin's cave of goodies that you may or may not need for your kitchen or your home, whether it's glasses or some clever little device that they've invented. It's a great place to buy picture frames. I sound like an advert now.
Well, this is the part just before you get to the checkout.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
And
I
you
remember
wander
this
through.
part because this is the part usually when my mum goes insane and then I lose her like a child, like a 3-year-old
Yeah.
child. She comes back with candles.
Yeah, with candles, they've got rugs, they've got picture frames, mirrors, they've got everything you need for your kitchen, and you can just have fun mooching around in there. You don't even need to see everything else in IKEA. You just go there, and that'll be the Christmas present place. They'll have Christmas decorations. So again, probably lots of people will have little IKEA Christmas trees this year or little IKEA ornaments.
And last time we spoke, Ben, you actually, I think it was the phrase opening day fanatic. So you came to the opening of Costco. You famously went to the opening of for his first IKEA London store. Will you be coming back on Thursday?
Well, I'm thinking about it. I've got to work out how to get here and avoid the traffic. So someone said I could get a train, which could be a whole novel idea, and then walk around. So I think it will be the buzz and the excitement and just seeing, I think just to come through and experience that daytime. So diary permitting, yes, I will be here.
I have a feeling that you're going to move a few things around. Thanks so much for coming with us,
You're
Ben.
welcome, Chelsea. Great to meet you.
We're now joined by IKEA Country Communications Manager for Australia and New Zealand, Patricia Routledge. Patricia, obviously the anticipation has been building for years for IKEA. What's it been like behind the scenes? Has it been as mad as it is what we can see?
I have not ever experienced anything like it. I've worked at IKEA for 10 years. So, I've seen openings, I've seen anticipation, but it's just been incredible. And it's been what a pleasure to have that experience, right? That people are so excited that you are coming, because the opposite is not what we would want. So yeah, it's been really, I wouldn't say crazy. It's just been exciting. And I think the excitement of all New Zealanders and the welcome we've had has just made it even more special. So it's very surreal that from next week we can't talk about opening anymore. So that will be different.
That'll be really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, I wanted to see when Australia got their first IKEA store. It was 1975. We've had to wait half a century.
Yes.
Why have Kiwis had to wait so long?
Oh, goodness. I mean, from a business perspective, there's many
Logistics.
reasons. Yes. But I think you may have seen 2019, our CEO, he's outgoing CEO now, but he made the commitment and he said that we were planning our opening and our entry, and he's always been so passionate about it. He really wanted to put IKEA on the map in New Zealand, and it was his enthusiasm was a lot of what got us to this point as well, because he looked at the map and he saw that it was missing, and he said, no, it's going to be my job and I'm going to make sure that we get IKEA in New Zealand. So why it took so long, I don't know. But there were a lot of champions that made sure it happened. And without them, we might not be here today, but we've got them to thank.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in terms of marketing, IKEA obviously does a really, really good job. I would be surprised if there wasn't a university course somewhere about how IKEA does
I think there is,
marketing.
actually.
There must be. I would be surprised if there wasn't. And even just looking online, I can see, in Australia, you've got the Mates with a Ute campaign and like the thongs or jandals. What has it been like trying to really Kiwify the marketing for IKEA?
Yeah. Look, working on marketing for IKEA, I call it the IKEA magic. And it's when you start working with other people and they say, oh, I'm not quite sure that's going to work. And you have to challenge people and go, no, things can work for IKEA that they can't for anyone else. And I think it's that, we call it twinkle in the eye. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We have that quirkiness, But what we really want to do is be relevant in the markets that we operate. And so we can't just, yes, we're Swedish, but we can't just come in and be like, enforce our Swedishness on everyone. It has to work for, where we are. So we spend a lot of time. You may have seen our Life at Home report. We went into 500 homes when we first got here, and we just asked people, like, how do you live? How would you like to live? What don't you like about your house? What would you really dream for? And a lot of those insights go into how we Kiwify our marketing, because we want it to be authentic. We want it to be real. And we talk about solutions a lot. We're not here to, again, tell anyone how to live. We're here to understand how people live and then go, oh, this is what we might do for you. So that's been a lot of it as well. So yes, making sure we've got the Kiwi twinkle in the eye has been really important.
Well, what's more Kiwi than a house party?
Well,
Tell me about that.
Oh, goodness me. It's been so much fun. A house party and a garage party as well. And we had the Sunday beachside chills yesterday. So it's just been incredible. We wanted to create the excitement on top of the excitement and say to all of New Zealand, we're so happy to be here. So, this is our housewarming, and wanted to celebrate in a way that was New Zealand. So we had lots of local artists, and we, a lot of different genres as well. We had house music on the first night, bit of garage music and R&B on the second night, and then yesterday was a bit more like funky, a little bit of like reggae vibes as well in there. But
And so did you set up like these house parties just with like IKEA stuff in there?
It was just touches of IKEA stuff, actually. You'll see some of the pictures online, but we had move-in boxes everywhere. So we had IKEA boxes, and inside the boxes were soft toys and cuddly toys. And at the end of the night, some of the guests could take them home with them. And the shark was the big favorite. And as people were leaving, they were bartering with other guests, and they were like, I've got a turtle. So do you want my turtle for a shark? And we had our IKEA bucket hats as well.
Oh, yeah, very.
I brought 300 bucket hats over from Sweden to New Zealand. They're the last blue ones in the world. So we were throwing them into the crowd and the dance floors, and people were going crazy. But this, like, so limited edition. I can't have one. My team had some, and I was asking them to take it off and give them to the party goers, because I'm like, no, these are exclusive. So not much furniture, but just little touches of our merchandise that people could get excited about.
Well, speaking of exclusivity, are there any products that you can only buy in New Zealand now?
Oh, the food. And again, I haven't tasted the food yet, so I'm super excited. We're going to have lingonberry pavlova. So sparking that debate of who owns the pavlova.
Oh, Kiwis.
Yeah, well, can't get it in Australia, so Kiwis do now. So.
I am obviously Australian, and I learned very quickly not to question the pavlova thing.
Unless you really want like a dinner party kind of debate. But lingonberry pavlova, so that's world first. A lamb pie, and we have fish and chips with New Zealand hoki. So all of these are super exclusive, can't buy them anywhere else in the world. So those would be my picks for the very unique and exclusive experience.
Will we be getting the full range here in New Zealand? I know there's often, when things open here, we're like, oh, we're going to miss out, or we're going to get all of the stuff from last season. You know, that's what everybody always says. So do we get everything straight off the bat?
New Zealand will have over 7,500 products. So that's, it's not the whole range, because that's much, much bigger, but no one has the whole range. So 7,500 is like pretty much as many products as anyone will get.
Right, it's just as long as Australia doesn't get more than us, or we don't get it.
And actually, we've curated the range for New Zealand. So we've actually, in going to 500 homes and looking at what New Zealand homes look like and what New Zealanders want, we've chosen the range specifically. So that 7,500 isn't randomly selected and just given to us. It's what we've often requested or demanded because of what we've seen and what we we hope and believe that New Zealanders will really want and need.
Oh, well, thanks so much for having a chat with us, Patricia. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me.
That's it for this episode of The Front Page. You can read more about today's stories and extensive news coverage at nzherald.co.nz. The Front Page is produced by Jane Yee and Richard Martin, who is also our editor. I'm Chelsea Daniels. Subscribe to The Front Page on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts, and tune in tomorrow for another look behind the headlines.